फाल्गुन कृष्ण प्रतिपदा शुक्रवार दिनांक 2 मार्च 2018 चरक चिकित्सा स्थान 21 सूत्र का अंक 40। शंखं चक्रं जलकां दगतमृतघटं चारुदोर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिहृद्यां शुकपरिविलसन् मौलिनं भोजनेत्रं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं निखिलगदवनप्रौढदावाग्निलीनं ब्रह्मणो हि समारब्धा मात्रेयाद्येषु पूजिताम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आयुर्वेदरतं वन्दे माधवाख्यं महागुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञानी दृष्टकर्मा कृतकर्मा तथैव च अध्यापको विषक्श्रेष्ठो महान् संशोधकस्तथा गुणैरेतैः सहितैः यत्कार्यं प्रतनोति सः समृद्ध्यर्थं हि कार्यस्य वयं प्रयतामहे सरस्वत्यै नमो यस्याः प्रसादात् पुण्यकर्मभिः बुद्धिदर्पणसङ्क्रान्तं जगदध्यक्षमीक्षते आत्रेयं प्रथमं वन्दे आयुर्वेदजगद्गुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञान आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं गृहीत्वा सुरेश्वरात् अग्निवेशादिकेभ्यो यत् प्रयच्छत् सत्तमः प्रथमं तन्त्रकर्तारम् अग्निवेशं नमाम्यहम्। अद्य शुक्रवासरः अथवा भृगुवासरः फाल्गुन कृष्ण प्रतिपदा दिनांक 2 मार्च 2018 चरक चिकित्सास्थान अध्याय 21 सूत्र क्रमांक 40 विसर्प चिकित्सा। आईला हे बंद करायचं सुशील उपद्रवस्तु खलु रोगोत्तर कालजो रोगाश्रय रोग एव स्थूलो वा अणुर्वा। उपद्रवः खलु रोगोत्तर कालजः अन्यः रोगः स तु रोगाश्रयः पूर्वरोगाश्रयः स्थूलः वा भवतु अणुर्वा भवतु रोगात् पश्चात् जायते इति उपद्रवसंज्ञा। यतः अयं पश्चाद्भावी रोगस्य पश्चाद्भावी अतः अयम् उपद्रवः इति कथ्यते। तर्हि अयं रोगोद्भवः एव रोगाश्रयः एव पूर्वरोगाश्रयः एव पूर्वरोगोद्भवः एव स्थूलो वा अणुः वा उपद्रवः इति उच्यते। यथा यः मया कथितं तस्य ध्वनिमुद्रणं न जातम् इति पुनरपि तमेव पाठं पुनरपि वदामि। तस्यैव स्पष्टीकरणम् अद्य क्रियते यतः विषयोऽयं महत्त्वपूर्णः इति। तत्र प्रधानो व्याधिः व्याधिर्गुणभूतः उपद्रवः। So the Vyadhi, the original disease is made, and Upadrava is Gunabhuta. Gunabhuta is Gauna, subsidiary. That is why it is called as Gunabhuta. Tasya prayah pradhana prashame prashamo bhavati. That generally subsides with the main disease as such. Satu pīdākarataro bhavati paschād utpadyamano vyadhi parikriष्ट शरीरत्वा. It is getting generated later, but since the body is already suffering for a long period from the previous disease, and then this is more troublesome, upadrava is more troublesome, vyadhi parikliष्ट शरीरत्वात् तस्मात् उपद्रवं त्वरमाणः अभिबाधेते. And so hastily one should treat upadrava. And only thing is when it is subsidiary, then you have to treat the original disease. But when it becomes more troublesome due to the body has already become more weak or already has suffered long from the previous disease, then this is even more troublesome. Then on priority basis, the Upadrava has to be treated. As I tried to explain yesterday, I had a long discussion with Kodatkar sir regarding side effects of medicines and the difference between Ayurveda and conventional medicine as such. In conventional medicine, the action of medicine is not restricted by any other means. So, whatever action of the drug is there, that will happen, and the whole importance is being given to the action only, or something like that. So, as I explained yesterday, aspirin, say for example, has varieties of actions. It is analgesic, it is antipyretic, it is anticoagulant. And so, aspirin can be effectively used in pains, may it be body ache, may it be joint pain or something like that. Secondly, it can be used in fevers for reducing the fever with its antipyretic action. And thirdly, since this reduces the blood viscosity, it can be used in ILD particularly, wherein the viscosity of the blood leads to formation of clot in the arteries, particularly coronary artery, which leads to myocardial infarction, which is called as heart attack. So, in order to prohibit that, one of the ways is to take care of this viscosity of blood, and aspirin is one of the drug of choice. And even this is true for in early pregnancy as well, to improve the blood flow to the uterus. Then aspirin is used. Now again, in Ayurveda, we can specify the action, which action to take place, and we can use the delivery system as such, medicine delivery system, which comprises of the dosage of that medicine. And as I explained yesterday, there was a patient of kushta all over the body, and it was oozing from all the skin. And that lady had previous complaint of amlapitta, which was suppressed with antacids. And now this erupted in the form of this kushta. So Visarpakota Kushtakshe Kandu Pandvamaya Jvaraha. So Visarpakota Kushta, that is one of the outcomes of Vami Avarodha. So considering this, Koladkar sir had given Suvarna Suchakar and Yashti Madhu in small quantity. One student just expressed a doubt that why should we use a very Saumya Dravya like Yashti Madhu in such a small quantity. So Koladkar sir handed the spoon to him and said, "You put whatever you want." So it was just 60 milligram matra, and that student doubled it to 120 milligram. The patient's son had come to collect the medicine. He took the medicines and went back. And after about 45 minutes or 1 hour or so, he returned rushing to the clinic, saying that his mother had full of bathroom with vomiting, had tremendous vomiting, and that filled up the whole bathroom, etc. Something like that. And she was very tired at that time. Fortunately, it was a nearby house. So Kolhatkar sir and the student went and he gave Lakshmi Vilas Vati and she recovered. Anyway, the Shodhan happened. So the sir was not intending to give Shodhana because she was very Sukumara. Fortunately enough, due to Shodhana, there was early recovery and she recovered fast. So, even a small dose from 125, 60 milligram to 125 milligram can bring about this kind of effect. Dumbe had asked yesterday that he uses Yashtimadu in 3-4 times of this dose, and still there is no complaint from any of these patients that they get vomiting or something like that. But it will all depend on that particular situation. There was already Utkrisht Avastha, and the doshas were ready to come out, and this helped the doshas to come out. That was the scenario. So it can be different like this, but anyway, even just increase of dose can be producing such kind of effect, and this is how the systems work. Secondly, the kala that we use for giving that medicine, Aushadha Sevan Kala, also plays an important role. Yashtimadu is in 13 ganas in Charak Samhita 4th chapter, Mahakashaya. So it is Jivaniya, it is Sandhaniya, it is Kanthya, it is Shukrala, and so many actions. So if we are using it for Sandhana purpose in Parikartika, then we may use it in Apan Kala. I use it often, very often, Patha Yashti combination, maybe along with Shatavari, Durva, etc. And that helps healing the Parikartika, or that can be even used for healing cracks in the sole of feet. So if you use it in Apan Kala, that is beneficial. I sometimes use Yashtimadu Gruta as Anupana also to this. If you want to have a Kanthya action, then you can do it, give it after food, Vyanodan Kal. For Shukrala action, you may give it before food, Apan Kal again. So, depending upon the Avshadha Sevan Kala, you can design where it should work. Depending upon Anupana also, there can be differences. With Gruta, it pacifies Vachan Pitta, and with honey, pacifies particularly Kapadosha. So, in a way, with the help of Anupana also we can differentiate. Actually, there is no such concept in conventional medicine. I had presented one paper in ISTAM conference in Mumbai long back, somewhere in 1984. Mode of action of drug, Ayurvedic approach, Ayurvedic perspective. And this was one of my best papers I have ever presented. And I had a lot of discussions with Volodkar sir before writing this paper, and I tried to explain it in the way today I am explaining. So there are so many factors which govern the action of any drug in Ayurvedic perspective, and that is the reason how we can avoid other effects or untoward effects of the medicine. That's the key. There was a parallel session, and one psychiatrist was presenting a paper in that, and he was saying that this is all psychology of the patient. So what he was trying to say, that it is ultimately the action of the medicine and nothing else. But people have notions about this. And once a doctor says that you take this medicine twice a day or thrice a day or something like that, this particular tablet, then the patient will immediately ask, with what shall I take? Water, milk, etc. Doctor may say, okay, take it with water. Then immediately the question will come whether I should use hot water or normal water or something. Then he would say, take any water, take the pill, that's all. Then the patient will ask whether I should take it empty stomach or after food. Ultimately, the doctor gets annoyed and says, you take the medicine, you don't ask me silly questions like this. Actually, who is silly? Now, he said these notions have come from Ayurvedic practitioners because they say that this medicine is to be taken empty stomach before food, after food, like that, with this particular anupana. So people feel that this is how the medicine works. And then they keep on asking even allopathic doctors questions about this. And according to him, this is all humbug. The action of drug is going to be there in whatever way you take, in whatever time you take, or with whatever vehicle you take, or something like that. And the dosage is as per the body weight. The dosage is not as per the dosha or something like that. In Ayurveda, the dosage is as per the quantum of dosha, and that is not the situation in allopathy. And that is why the drug keeps on doing its work. Why Aushadha Sevan Kala is described on the basis of Vata Prakara but not types of Pitta or Kapha Prakara. We can't say like that because whatever has been given, that is justified. Whatever has not been given, we can't make any argument for that. But anyway, there is a theory of evolution by some people regarding Ayurveda. So some people try to say that Ayurveda has also evolved like conventional medicine. And Charakacharya only explains about 5 types of Vata and also describes the role of Vata in particular Samprapti. Role of each Vata in particular Samprapti. May it be Prana, may it be Udana, may it be Apana. Sushrutacharya has given 5 names of Pitta, and but he has not mentioned the role of this Pachaka, Ranjaka, Bhajaka, Pitta anywhere in the Samprapti of any disease. And Vagbhadacharya has mentioned 5 types of Kapha, but has not mentioned their role in particular samprapti of a disease. So starting from Charaka, if we arrive at Vagbhata, we see gradually it has expanded, and this is evolution. So you keep on adding new things to original science, and that is why Ayurveda has evolved or something like that. As contrast to this, Charkacharya says, Soyam Ayurveda Shashvatam Nirtishyate Anaditvat Svabhav Samsiddha Lakshanatvat Bhav Svabhav Nityatvat Cha. So it is Shashvata, it is not changing. That is one aspect, so to say, that Charkacharya explains. Now, is there any need of Yuganurupa Sandarbha or modifications or something like that? Is there any need of Samskarana or something like that? Now, this is also true. Though it is Shashvata, still there are modifications. And that is why Agnivesha wrote the Samhita that was further Pratisamskrita by Charkacharya, and Sampurna is done by Drudabala. So the Charak Samhita we read today is not really only from original Agnivesha, but is from Charkacharya, who is incarnation of Patanjali or Sheshanaga. And further, it has been enhanced by Drudabala or something like that. So, in spite of being Shashvata, there are changes, there are modifications, and so whether this is a deviation, whether this is something new, or it is just exploration of whatever is there previously or something like that. So there are no direct mentions about types of kapha prakara, types of pitta prakara, and aushadha sevana kala associated with them. Only thing is we can try to club them with that particular value. Kapodreke gadenandam bandino roga roga, this is for all kaphas. And in samana kala one can give medicines that will be acting on pachika pitta and maybe acting elsewhere as well or something like that. But still, urdhvajatravikarashu sasmakalaye swapnakale prashastyate. Urdhvajatra vikar, if it is due to kapha, then or pitta, whatever it may be, one should give medicine at night. That is the thing. So with this, we can explore it further. But anyway, the main point was we can restrict the action of a drug at a particular site with the help of matra, anupana, kala, etc. Or even it is decided by the mind of the patient, it is decided by the knowledge of the Vaidya. So, Rogamadav Pariksheta Tato Nantaram Aushadam Tatat Karma Vishak Paschat Jnana Purvam Samachare. So, Jnana Purvaka karma is expected. And for what purpose I am using this medicine, that also decides the path. For what purpose the patient is taking that medicine, that also decides the path. So if I am taking aspirin for headache, the concentration of the body will be reaching the head region or the center in the brain or something like that to stop that pain in the head. No doubt, aspirin has other actions as well, and it may exhibit those actions when we don't take proper care to deal with that. And this proper care can be taken if aspirin is asked to be taken after food. So the problem that it creates acidity, it may lead to bleeding that is reduced or something like that. If we ask them to take it with milk or ghee or something like that, maybe it will be pursuing Vata Pitta dosha and will not be that troublesome or something. So there is a need to save the society from the side effects of allopathic drugs, and this is a worldwide need, so to say. Allopathy will not try to find out ways for that, but Ayurveda can provide ways for that. And that will also be beneficial to the society as a whole. So one of the things is this is a kind of integration, and one may be interested for that. Then Rishikesh Maitre was having a very different view about Rasashastra medicines, and it is not Ayurveda. That is what he says. And I had a debate with him. He was not agreeing anything or something like that. And he was constantly saying that if we want to accept Rasa Shastra, then why not allopathy? He was uttering it again and again, again and again. I said, you give explanation of Jagat Temo Manoshadham Nakinchit Vidyate Dravyam Vashan Nanatha Yoga Yoga. It is not the medicine as such, but it is the philosophy behind the medicine which attributes to a particular science, particular medical system. Say, for example, Vishatinduka is used in Ayurveda, homeopathy, allopathy, everywhere or something like that. So we have certain kalpas of Vishatinduka Vatti or Amapa Chakavatti or Vatagajan Kusha. We have varieties of medicines in which this Vishatinduka or Kuchala is used. Homeopathy has Nux vomica, which is derived from this, and they have their own actions about this, the where to use or something like that. And strychnine is the active principle derived from this, and that is being used in allopathy or something like that. So the same plant being used by different systems in different ways. When I use Nux vomica and say that in Ayurveda I am using Nux vomica or something like that, nobody will believe that. So when it is Nux vomica, then it is homeopathy. When it is Vishatinduka, it is Ayurveda, and when it is strychnine or something like that, then it is allopathy, conventional medicine. So conventional medicine also has so many medicinal plants that are being used. Whatever is medicinal or whatever is herbal is Ayurvedic. This is one of the misconceptions. In foreign countries especially, everything that is herbal is called as Ayurvedic or something like that. That is also not true. And so it is the philosophy, it is the principle behind the treatment which specifies a particular science, medical science, the approach towards that medicine is the key to decide it in what way it is to be used or something like that. And so, Ayurveda has a totally different approach of using medicines, and that can be picked up by homeopathy or allopathy or something like that. And they may start using it in that particular way. So instead of having only aspirin, there can be aspirin plus Adursa or Vasa or Durva or something like that to reduce the side effects of aspirin, particularly that increases with the and this might be beneficial to the whole society. There can be enhancement in the property also. So cisplatin is one of the chemotherapeutic drugs. CSIR came up with a product cisplatin with Gomutra. Gomutra enhances the property of cisplatin and low dose is required. So lot of things depend on low dose because then the cost comes down when it's a low dose or something like that. The side effects are less and still effects, desired effects are there. So they registered a patent that was purchased by Cadila. Cadila has marketed cisplatin with Gomutra now in India. So a small thought process can lead to commercialization and benefit to the society. There is J&J Dishane company in Hyderabad which manufactures Ayurveda allopathic mixed medicines for a long time. So they have combination of Suchekar with aspirin, etc. I don't know how many people use that. I didn't pay much attention because this is purely integrated practice. But now when I see global scenario and suffering of people due to side effects of varieties of allopathic drugs, and till we get established as medical science across the globe, the whole society will keep on suffering from these side effects. And conventional medicine is not going to look into this in their own perspective. They will have to arrive at Ayurvedic perspective. So this conception that medicine has the effect, there are no other factors important, it itself humbug. This is a misconception, as what the psychiatrist was telling. So it's a synergistic effect. Basically, it's a holistic approach, and that holistic approach is required. Unfortunately, this is being propagated by pharmaceutical companies, and the whole research today in conventional medicine is driven by pharmaceutical companies. And they have their benefit only when they are able to show that this is drug action and they can patent it, they can market it and earn money. So if some functions are being done with anupana or matra or kala or pathya, something like that, then naturally the need of the medicine will be less and that will be less beneficial to the company or something like that. And they don't want to propagate it. So even if we have a study that those patients being treated by allopathy observing pathya and not observing pathya, there will be a clear-cut indication that observing pathya brings more faster relief with less medication. And pharmaceutical companies won't like that. They want the sale of their medicines. So, instead of emphasizing on pathya, you emphasize on pill or tablet or something like that. And just keep on emphasizing that you have this and this symptom is fixed. You get symptomatically relieved, and that's all. That is the treatment of the disease. This is a very big misconception that has put by conventional medicine. So when the sugar level is maintained, when the blood pressure is maintained, or the thyroid level is maintained, or something like that, then we have a feeling that we have conquered the disease, which is not so. The disease can be conquered only when we stop the causative factors, we start having pathya, and laterally we take care of the symptoms. The symptoms will disappear on their own because they are effects of the disease. So if you treat the disease, then the effects will go, the symptoms will go. But unfortunately, nobody is emphasizing on causative factors as such. And nobody is bothered to look for them. And getting symptomatic relief is enough for the society, for the doctors, as such. So, because the medicine reaches other places as well, which is undesired in that particular patient, and that is why it causes particular side effects, and we can restrict the action of the drug with particular vehicle, with particular kala or matra or something like that. I had asked Golodkar sir another question regarding this. One was why a particular medicine can exhibit a particular action when it has a capacity to exhibit many actions or something like that. In Sutrasthan 4th chapter, when Charka has explained the Panchashan Mahakashaya, Agnivesh has asked a question. Na etani Bhagwan Panchakashaya Shatani Puriyante. This you said as 500. But these are not 500. Tani tani eva angani papalavante teshu teshu ganeshu. The same medicine gets repeated in varieties of ganas. So if we count them, these are not going to be 500. 10 medicines in each gana. But Yashtimadu is in 13 ganas. So naturally Yashtimadu is single drug. But you count it again, 500 to make it 500 or something like that. And Atreya, in a Uparodhik way, has explained, Na etavata buddhimata drashtavyam Agnivesha. Agnivesha is supposed to be the most intellect among the Shishyas. And when he asks questions like this, and then he further says that a single drug, a single entity, not a drug, may be having varieties of works, and it may be known in varieties of ways. If we try to understand it only in one perspective, then that will be inappropriate. This is haphazard or something like that. So we need to understand it fully, all capacities. And if we get a single drug which is capable of doing all karmas, kastatha anyadichet upadeshtum ubadharetum va, then why will be there a desire to make upadesha of something else, or even for grasping that upadesha of something else? If our purpose is served, So that is fine. We need something which can do Sandhaniya karma. So Yashtimadu is put. We need something which can do Shukrala karma. Yashtimadu has that capacity. We put Yashtimadu once again. Like that. So Yashtimadu has a very broad spectrum, and it can be used in varieties of ways. And that is fine. That these are Panchashad Mahakashayas. So the same medicine will get repeated at different in different ganas or something like that. So if that is the situation, then we should be satisfied with few dravyas and having a vast applicability as such. How do we? My second question was, uh, what happens to that dravya when it does that function or something like that? Answer given by Koletkar sir was it gets exhausted, doesn't remain anymore or something like that. It has to be digested by the Agni. The quantity is very small, and when it does its work, whatever work that we define for that particular medicine, it gets exhausted and it doesn't remain in the body as such. So either it will get converted or like ahara dravya, it may have saraketta vibhajana. The sara will be absorbed in the body. It is virya pradhan or something like that. And whatever small amount pitta that will be excreted anyway or something like that. And particularly when we are doing external applications, what actually reaches into the body? We may have dhara, we may have labor, we may have abhyanga. Does that dravya enter into the body or only the virya enters into the body? Or the amount is very less that enters into the body directly or something like that. But abhyanga causes pushti, and this might be due to entry of that oil or ghee into the body or something like that. So then if the dravya is exhausted, then there is no further action of that dravya, any untoward effect of that dravya in the body. So that makes a difference between allopathic approach and Ayurvedic approach. And that is how we are able to treat diseases without any side effects. प्रयोगश्रमेत् व्याधिं योन्यमन्यमुदीरयेत् नासौ विशुद्धशुद्धस्य श्रमेद् यो न कोपयेत्. Only in Sannipatavastha we have Ashuddha Chikitsa. Vardhane Naikadoshasya. That is also only for this Vardhane Naikadoshasya. Tulla Kaksham Jayen Malan. That is the underlying principle. So they should be, the doshas should be at one level. And then you can use Sandipata Chikitsa to treat that particular disease or disease condition. And you conquer all doshas. If two doshas are more increased and one dosha is less increased, they are not tulya kaksha. So you vardhane naika doshasya, you increase that dosha to the level of other two doshas, so they become equal. Now this is Ashuddha Chikitsa, because you are enhancing dosha in an already increased state. For time being, this is accepted. And later on you are going to pacify all doshas together or something like that. So this is only exception. Otherwise, you should be doing Shuddha Chikitsa only. Prayoga Shamed Vyadhim Yonyam Anyam Udire. So it should not do Udirana of any other dosha or Vyadhi or something like that. And Ayurveda can do it with Matra, Anupana, Kala, etc. etc. And the psychology of the patient, psychology of the Vaidya, the knowledge of the Vaidya behind that. So, Ayurveda can do it. And this example of Tatar Guruji is well known that one of his students used Mahamrutyunjay in Garbhini Avastha. And then he realized that he had made a mistake. He told to Datar Guruji. Datar Guruji sat in front of Jnaneshwar Mauli and urged Jnaneshwar Mauli to forgive that student and to avoid the bad effect of Mahamrutyunjay on Garva. Until the message didn't come that she is okay, she is fine, nothing happened to her or something like that. He was just sitting in front of Jnaneshwar Mauli. So this is something. The drug is taken by a lady. Datar Guruji is unaware of who that lady is. It has been administered by somebody else. And Datar Guruji is urging Jnaneshwar Mauli to safeguard that lady. And that works. So when a drug has a particular action, even then, this is possible to prohibit that action with your mind power or your bhakti or something like that. So this is still more difficult to understand how things should be happening like that. But the pranic healing process, as what is established today, and you even don't touch the body or even you are far away from the person to be treated. Still, the healer has a capacity to heal that particular patient, the ailment of that particular patient, or something like that. The distant Reiki is also there, kind of thing. So, the mode of action, how to restrict that, how to enhance that, this is a best principle in Ayurveda. And conventional medicine may try to learn from this. We tried to pick up Sukshmaushadhi Sankalpana from homeopathy and elaborated it in Ayurveda, and we can use it. I am using it also, and there are so many stalwarts that have already used that Sankalpana from homeopathy. So, if it is an interdisciplinary approach, and one may get benefited from the philosophies of different sciences as such. This is because the research is pharmacy driven in allopathy. It has taken a totally different shape, and the whole society is a sufferer due to that. So basically, Varo Bhutadaya Dharmaha, that should be our feeling, and we should be trying for the benefit of whole Srushti as such, not only human beings or something like that. So in Visha Prakaran, so Visha has to be destroyed. Yatha tena vipadyeran apina kshudrajantavaha. One has to take a care that even small creatures may not get hurt by that poison or may die due to that poison. So it's not only the human being, it's all living beings as such, or even for that matter, the soil, the water, everything needs to be taken care or something like that. So if we have that broad perspective and work for a sustainable kind of thing, this is temporary. Today's farming, today's chemotherapy, today's varieties of allopathic drugs, these are all just temporary solutions to so-called problems. In a long run, all of them are hazardous, and the society is totally unaware of this. So, making society aware of this is one of the important aspects. And avoidance of side effects of conventional medicine is also one of the important tasks that we may initiate and main the allopathic pharmacies for that so that the society is benefited with this concept as such. So it all started with Upadrava concept. Why there is Upadrava? Satanmula Mula Eva Upadrava Saunyaka. I don't know from where it has been taken. Might be Charaka Samhita itself. But I remember it from Madhavendran Madhukoshtika. And Tanmulam, Tadvyadehe Mulam, Dosharupam Mulam, Tanmulam Yasya. So, the disease arises from the dosha. Doshopabruhita labdabalashchet vyadhi vikaram jana. If there is upabrahmana of this dosha due to apatya kind of thing, then the vyadhi becomes more strong and it creates upadrava. So, in order to avoid upadrava, we should take care of the disease and should take care of the dosha behind that disease, the cause for that particular disease, and should not allow things that will give strength to that dosha, increase that dosha, and that will give strength to the disease or something like that. And that is what is Pathapatya Sankalpana. So, medicine alone is not going to work. Avoidance of positive factors, Samahetu Sevana, are also equally important or even more important. And then the disease will not get support or the doshas will not enhance behind the disease. And it will not produce further complications or something like that. In spite of the blood sugar level controlled, there are retinopathy and nephropathy, neuropathy in diabetes, and it has nothing to do with control of sugar. So even when the sugar is controlled, these things keep on happening. So this is the Upadrava. Why Upadrava arises? If the main Vyadhi Prameha is conquered, is kept under control, then this will not happen. But we are not concentrating on controlling diabetes. We are concentrating only controlling the sugar level and the hazards of high sugar level that are controlled or something like that. So truly speaking, whenever we see Upadravas, one has to understand that the original Vyadhi is strong, original disease is strong, and secondly, it is getting supported by some positive factors which should have been avoided. And the dosha aggravated by these positive factor leads further to particular diseases, upadravas of the original disease. So might it be viruddhanda, might it be the krodha, might it be atapa sevana or something else like that, that may lead to, or seven of achar, pickles, etc. That might lead to retinopathy in diabetes. It might be the curds, it might be the excessive drinking of water, it might be divaswapa, etc., etc., leading to nephropathy in diabetic patients. Or it might be the vatakara, ahara, vihara, etc., rukshatva, etc., that might be leading to neuropathy in diabetes. So, if we understand these positive factors very well, then we can decide which person will get retinopathy, which person will get nephropathy, which person will get neuropathy. We can avoid the onset of these upadravas. If they are already there, we can revert these upadravas. And this is one example, as I was explaining yesterday, that Tamakashvasa patients we get even after 5, 6, 10 years or something like that, and they get treated very well. They are cured. So how this can happen? It is incurable after 1 year. So basically it is not original disease. Original disease is Pratishaya. Pratishaya leads to Kasa. Kasa leads to Tamakashvasa or something like that. Or it may lead to Rajayakshma. Pratishaya Ratho Kasa Kasa Chanjayate Kshayaha. This is also one of the things. And if the original disease keeps on getting support from causative factors, it will produce further upadravas. You treat the original disease and the upadravas will vanish or they will be taken care of. So, if we really understand the phenomena behind this, then we should be able to save the society at large. So, why there are so many upadravas of current diseases uh, through conventional medicine, and why Ayurveda is capable of taking care of the original disease and the upadravas both? The answer is in the philosophy of Ayurveda. And if we really understand that philosophy very well, implement it very well in patients, then that will be beneficial to the society, that will be beneficial to the field of Ayurveda. And anyway, we have to deal with these and keep on conveying the message in the society as such. So I really had a very long discussion about this with Golodkar sir, and I was fortunate to know his views about Aushadha Sevan Kala, and I had written one essay in a competition on Aushadha Sevan Kala that also won the first prize, and I was in second year or something like that. And this particular paper, Mode of Action of Drugs and Ayurvedic Perspective, also was very good, and I could do basic thought process in this, and that is more beneficial in the long run. So anyway, we continue with this. Tomorrow we'll go for Guruchi again from Vaishya Ratnavali. And Monday onwards again we'll continue with this Upadrava. Maybe I take some more time on Upadrava and then we proceed further with the Tika and other things. So this is one of the most important sutras, and explanation is more important for benefit of all students as such. आयुर्वेदप्रकाण्डो निगदितैः हि शल्यतन्त्रप्रधानः शिष्येभ्यः शाश्वतोऽयं निखिलजनकृपा व्याप्तचित्तेन येन आयुर्वेदस्य वाञ्छन् पुनरपि भुवने तां च सुष्ठु प्रतिष्ठां श्रेष्ठं धन्वन्तरिं तं प्रणमति च सदा वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनम् विरम्यते व्याख्यानमपारत् श्वः पुनरपि मिलिष्यामः।